Let's determine the volume of a cylinder. So you're probably most familiar with a cylinder. You probably think of a can or a jar, a cup, a glass even, maybe a drum. And the thing about a cylinder is you think of the defining thing about it, or the defining thing about its shape is that its base is a circle. So you've got a circle here, kind of showing you this real quick, and we'll get into the math in a second. But cylinders got basically a circular base on there, and it's kind of like, if you think of it, it's basically like a stretched out circle. So we're going to talk about volume. We're talking about volume. We're saying, okay, basically how much could this cylinder hold? Could it contain in the interior when we're talking about volume of a cylinder, okay? So let's go over to your page here, your notes page, and let's make sure we've got, anytime we're talking about finding area, volume, perimeter even, any of these, got a formula. And we're going to jot this formula down, but we want to kind of notice some things about it. So you look at your formula chart, or anytime you're working and you're working on questions and the formula is provided, the formula basically is going to show you this. And we'll write it at the top. It's going to say volume equals, so in your little formula box, you can say V equals. It's going to be a capital B for base, and then base times height. Okay, that's all they're going to say. Volume equals capital B base times height. Okay, well that can be confusing, because for a lot of people trying to solve this, it might just see, if we use this example, hey, it's just going to be 6 times 9 and we'll solve. No, not really. We need to understand what we really mean by base. What shape is the base? We just talked about it when we went back over here. The base is a circle in a cylinder. So what you want to do when you find the volume of a cylinder is you want to find the area of the base first. All right, so we're going to start with the circle, and we've worked on area of a circle, so we're pretty good with this. So we're going to get the area of the circle, and then basically we just need to multiply it by the height. Okay, so when we write it in the formula, I think the better way to do this is when we say, hey, how do we find the volume of a circle? If the circle is the base, we're going to write the formula like this. It's actually, volume of a circle, as we know, is pi. It's my weird little pi sign. R squared, radius squared. And basically we're going to do that. I can do a little better too there. And then we're going to multiply it by the height. Okay, so pi r squared, having a real hard time getting my squared in there. There we go. Times the height. And actually I could probably come back, put the height in a little different color there. So let's do some math here. So this is really probably the formula we want right over here. Volume equals pi r squared times the height. So let's calculate. Let's use our first example. You've got this on the cover page real quick right over here. Let's go ahead and calculate this. So we're going to start with, I'm going to write out the formula. So volume equals pi r squared times the height. And let's fill in these values. So now volume is going to equal, we know what pi is. We'll get that number in a second. But we need the radius, okay? So let's get the radius. What is the radius of the circle? Well, it's given to us right here. Radius is halfway across a circle, or from the outside of a circle to the middle. And it's 6, all right? So I'm going to put 6 squared. And then what is the height in blue? Well, the height of this cylinder is 9. We got 9 right over here, so I'm just going to put a 9 right there. All right. So when we solve this, we basically want to square our radius, and then we can see what we need to do from there. So let's start with our circle. So let's continue. We're going to go volume equals pi, and we want to do 6 squared. Remember, 6 squared is, as I write this down, 6 2 times. It's like 6 times 6, okay? So 6 times 6 is 36. So we're going to say pi times 36 times 9. Okay, so pi times 36 times 9. Now, what we're going to do here, the easiest way to do this is actually to multiply on our next step to do 36 times 9. Okay, it's going to be easier to do that. And so let's do that on the next step. So I'm going to go volume equals pi. And then 36 times 9, if we do 36 times 9 real quick, I'll set up for it, but I think we're going to get into 300s here. But I'll do this real quick for you. So 36 times 9. 9 times 6 is 54. I'll put a 4 and put a 5 carried up. 9 times 3 is 27. Plus 5 is going to be 32. And yeah, that was kind of right about that. So we're going to get 324. 324. All right, sorry, that's a little squiggly there. And I'm going to erase this for some space. The last step is, this is where we're at to find the full volume here. We want to multiply 324 times pi. Now we got kind of some long multiplication, but we can hang in there and do this. So let's do it real quick. So we'll do 324 times pi real quick. I'm going to write it out. So 324 times 3.14. And we're going to do this long form. You might have calculators at times, but I want to make sure we can do this long form. And I think we can get it. All right, 4 times 4 at the top is 16. I'm going to carry a 1. 4 times 2 is 8 and then 9. And then 4 times 3 is 12. Remember, when you're done, drop a 0. And I'm going to go with my second row to 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 3 is 3. Done with that one. Now remember, on this point, if you've got 3 digits, you're going to have to do 2 zeros. And then lastly, let's do our 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and then 3 times 3 is 9. Let's add all this up. What do we get? I get 6. 9 and 4 is 13. 3 carry a 1. That's 2, 4, 6, 7. And then over here I get 10, 11, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Getting a big old number, and we got to come back 2 decimal places. But I'm essentially getting 1017.36, and that is going to be the volume. It's in units squared, so we would say units cubed, because it's 3-dimensional. So that would be the answer right over there. I'll kind of circle this in, and we get 1017.36 centimeters cubed on this answer here. All right, let's try another one. One more real quick over here. This shape real quick right over here. What if we have a cylinder? We've got it on its side, so pay attention to that, because sometimes the base is not always resting on its base. And we're going to get the volume for this cylinder real quick right over here. Make sure you have your formula. We'll write the long form. So remember, the volume is going to equal essentially pi radius squared times the height, just like that. And then let's come in here and let's solve this. So volume equals pi r squared times the height. And remember, we need the radius. So watch out for this, because it can be a little bit tricky. When you look at this cylinder that we're given real quick, this cylinder right over here, if I did that in red, we get the distance across, but the distance across is all the way across. It's 6, okay? Well, 6 is the diameter, but we want the radius, okay? So we need to half that value when we do that, okay? So I'm going to erase that out, but basically we want half of that value. So half of 6 is 3, so the r is going to equal 3. So when I write this, I'm going to go 3 squared times the height, which is 11, okay? So let's start doing some math. So pi equals, or volume equals pi. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is getting a little messy here, sorry, 9. So I'm going to put 9. And we've got 9 times, I'm going to do a parentheses here because that means multiplying. 9 times 11, and we can continue with this. Volume equals, remember the pi part we'll do last. So pi times, let's do 9 times 11. Most of y'all got that. 9 times 11 is 99. And then we can get our final answer here. All right, so final answer on this one, volume's going to equal, it's going to be, we'll do this long form, but remember, this is going to be 99 times 3.14. So if I set this up as 3.14 times 99, you can do some estimating to get pretty close on your answer on this one. It's essentially 314 is basically 300, all right, or I'm sorry, 3.14, I apologize, is essentially 3. And then 99 is pretty close to 100. 100 times 3 is 300, so I'm just going to write 300 and put it on the side, because I bet our answer is going to be pretty close to 300, all right? Let's multiply it out and finalize this thing, all right? Decimal comes over 2 places, 1, 2, just to set it up. I should do that in green because I'm using a lot of blue. And now let's multiply. Going to use red. 9 times 4 is 36. I put a 6, carry a 3. 9 times 1 here is 9. Plus 3 is 10, 11, 12. I'm put a 2, carry a 1. 9 times 3 here is 27 plus 1, which is 28. We're done with the 9, so we have to cancel it out and drop a 0. We got to be good with our 9, so make sure you got it. Let me clear some space. 9 times 4 again is 36, so put a 6, carry a 3. 9 times 1 here is 9, 10, 11, 12, put a 2, carry 1. And then lastly, 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. I'm trying to keep it neat. We're going to add it up. I'm going to go with purple for the final answer. 6 and 0 is 6. 6 and 2 there is 8. 8 and 2 is 10. I'm going to carry this 1 up. 8 here plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, which means I got to carry a 1. That makes 2 and 1 is 3. So I'm getting 3 big old number there, but I got to come back 2 decimal places. So it's basically 310.86. And remember, this is going to be in inches cubed. That's a bad 3, but we always want 3-dimension with volume. And that is our answer right over there, 310.86 inches cubed. So remember to get the area of the circle. Make sure you use the radius. And then you're just going to multiply it by the height. All right, it's like a stretched out circle. Volume of a cylinder. Thanks for watching.